When it's time to begin, it's on the Rewind-A-Raw with John Pollock and Wai Ting. The A-Team that makes sense of these things we see in the ring every week on TV. It's Rewind-A-Raw for Monday night. Download it Tuesday morning from the Post Wrestling site. It's Rewind-A-Raw for Monday night on USA Now on the John and Wai Take the Mic.
It is John Pollock and Wai Ting coming at you from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the home of the CN Tower.
Oh, yeah.
At one point, the largest freestanding structure. And now, I don't know, it's a tower. It's tall.
It's still pretty tall.
It's pretty tall.
Not breaking any records, but, you know, it's good enough.
Well, I'll tell you, though, you and I were breaking some records on Sunday.
That's
our
correct.
Personal bests. That was under attack on Sunday morning, okay? Wai Ting playing all coy when this guy's just been probably pounding the pavement this last year when nobody's been looking. Guy came out, juiced to the gills, man. Our Scott Putski here to my right. How are you feeling today, Wai?
I feel more sick than I did, actually, prior.
Oh.
So, you know, I do feel like the run up there in that...
You did this with a cold. That's a pain.
Yeah, how cold was it? Like, it was like 2 was it 2 degrees?
It was very cold in the morning, and then it got warmer as the day went on. But it was like leaving my house in the morning around 7:45-ish. Yeah, it was about 2 Celsius.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, we did it because we were committed at this point. We had about $3,203 of your donations to answer for, and we hopefully lived up to the challenge. And John, you certainly did, because you did incredible in your run up the CN Tower. How much time did it take?
Wait, you and I were a difference of like 15 seconds. So whatever you say about me, it goes for you.
When you're up there, 15 seconds, it's every second is just, it's torturous to try to make up for. So
this was the hardest one, like of the 3, and I wasn't expecting that. I had my strategy, and I attacked hard at the beginning, and I don't know if that was the best route to go, because, like, dude, I felt it within the first 10 flights, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And no matter how many times I've done this, I've never remembered how many flights we have to go up, because there's numbers.
Yeah.
And I kind of like not knowing, and because I feel it's a mind fuck if you do know the number. Mm-hmm. But in time, people start like, how many more floors? And people are giving their answers and stuff. And so anyway, it was...
Oh, it's a mental struggle as much as anything.
It is. Yeah. And I refused to stop. I was like, I cannot stop. That was my key. So I kept going. And I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to make this any kind of thing. But when I finished doing book club last week, we finished, and I'm talking to Neil off air. He's like, John, how do you feel for Sunday? I was like, I've been working out. I'm feeling okay. I've noticed that each year, Wai has just beaten you both times slightly.
Neil.
I was like, what a shit disturber here. And as I was going up there, I would see Wai's head like popping up underneath, because you can see down these steps.
Really?
And I was like, part of me was like, man, I need to keep this pace up. Because
good. I'm good. I'm glad I can offer you some motivation.
But Wai, you did incredible. Like,
first of all, John, you did 17 minutes 53 seconds. This is sub 18 minutes. You know, I don't know what your last record was, but I think you blew it by like a minute or something.
I was in the 18s last time. I can't remember the exact time, but we were close. I was behind you. Just ask Neil.
John, look at these stats. First of all, he was 226th overall of 2,580 people. Of the men, of 1,163 men, John was 163rd fastest. But listen to this. Of men...
They get nicer and nicer the more specific you get.
Men 40 to 49, all right? Really the target demo. John was 24th.
Could you imagine?
24th of
24th,
all men.
yeah.
In the world. 40 to 40.
I don't know about the world here. Yeah. I mean, I was very happy with the time, but like, I was so physically just exhausted at the end of this. Like my lungs were on fire at the end of this thing, and so I was a little disappointed in just how.
Ask a gold medal, Olympian how they feel. I mean, that's not part of the game. They're not measuring your heart, like what your lung capacity.
I left everything on that 144th floor. Okay, there was nothing I held back on, but it was that last like 10 flights were a goddamn just terrible, because I didn't know what the exact number was, and in my head I'm like, just assume it's 150, because I was just like struggling for those last 10 flights. And then you finish, you finish, and it's like it's another 10 flights.
Oh, they're cool down flights.
They don't tell you. There's no such thing as a cool down flight after you've just done 144. You're still climbing steps.
There's a cool down descent, but no, this is the opposite. You got to cool down. They make you take more steps up.
Yeah.
So, but again, thank you for motivating me. Like I don't know if I was honestly going to do it again, but like I wanted to do it one time. And you guys just keep wanting to do it again and again. I feel bad because, like, I set up the page and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll have to do it.
I really wanted to do it this year. I felt I regretted missing out last year. I think we were just, you were obviously in the midst of a birth. So you were.
I should have done it last year and took this year off. It's actually way worse. Like once the kid is actually born.
You had a very legitimate excuse last year. I really didn't have one, and I should have done it last year. And I think maybe the year off was a. But anyway, we got to do it. I always enjoy doing this. It's an excuse to prepare, get ready, and
it's the one time of the year where I feel like I could like actually do something, like not other than sit at a desk and talk in front of a microphone. So thank you, John. Thank you, Jesse from the 6th. Jack Wannen, who joined for the very first time.
His rookie climb, and he made it.
Very, very respectable time. Braden Harrington, who I might be most impressed by, because he gets up there with his asthma puffer that I actually had to sneak in for him because he didn't have a pocket with his zipper.
They weren't going to let him in with his puffer. I was like, what if something bad happened to him? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like, I understand they have like a very strict rules, and I totally agree with like no phones and all this stuff, but like an inhaler, like anyway. Yeah.
But the man with asthma has walked up to the CN Tower 3 times. So
very impressive.
Credit to Braden and credit to Davey Portman for choosing to step aside to let us take all the glory this year. Thank you very much, Davey.
Yes, I mean Davey has been the spiritual leader of this each year. So yes, we did get to see Davey at least afterwards. So
we did. $3,203 raised. So thank you to every single person who made a donation, big or small. We honestly appreciate you guys very much. A new record for us.
The biggest question.
Yeah.
How was that chicken and waffles after?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It took a while to find a place to actually sit down for, but yeah,
we had to search for a place. Yeah, it was. I didn't get the same as you. I got a different variation of the chicken and waffles. Mine was pretty good.
The brunches.
I heard Braden was not as happy with.
Oh, really?
His. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. Well,
I just needed food. I was starving. So
the meal afterwards is always like a great meal.
Yeah. Yeah. This is honestly us like outside, basically in the cold, but it was a good meal afterwards. So there you go. Where was it?
Show's done.
No. Yeah, that's it. We're done.
All right, see you guys.
Well, we have a news pack that you can all check out where Wai and I discussed the recent WWE departures of the New Day, JC Mateo and Tonga Loa, as well as pay cuts. Pay cut season.
Restructuring.
Restructuring.
The nice way of saying it.
Yeah, that's a nice way. Hey, you know that contract we mutually agreed upon? We want to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah.
Does that go both ways? Hey, guys, I want to make double now. I know I signed this 2 years ago for 5 years. Let's go double.
Sometimes, actually.
You can. I mean, if you have leverage, you can do that. UFC, that actually, that is commonplace.
Yeah. MJF?
Some people can do it. We went through the Wrestling Dontaku shows, which I will mention. Bruce Lord and Karen Peterson have a 2-hour review of both nights, going through all the matches from Sunday and Monday. That is up now on the Post Wrestling Café feed. And you can check out all of that as well. A huge breakdown of John Cena coming to Backlash this Saturday, which is where we will be Saturday night, not in Tampa, but here in these seats, chatting Backlash as soon as the show ends on a Saturday evening. So enjoy a weekend where we only have one of these pay-per-views, because we have weekends coming up where we've got Saturday night's main event and Double or Nothing. We've got another WWE pay-per-view at the end of the month with that AAA Mask versus Mask show. I mean, there's lots coming up. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We got Carano and Rousey coming up in a few weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's a
very busy May as well. So let's get into Raw tonight from Omaha, Nebraska. And we had 8,847 according to WrestleTix, and everything is built around paper. A contract will be signed tonight. In fact, multiple contracts will be signed, both for matches and for talent signing to Raw.
Will there be contract restructurings? That's what they should be promoting for.
That should be the SmackDown segment.
SmackDown, you'll have the contract
restructuring segment. There's something Jacob didn't read, and he wants to revisit the stipulation. Roman arrives, and he's walking towards the ring and searching for Jacob Fatu when he is informed Jacob is not here. He's like, oh, okay, well, can't do a contract sign without Jacob Fatu. And then Seth Rollins appears, telling Roman, you're in my way. And then Rollins walks out and gets jumped by Braun Breaker. This would be the first we would see of these.
Well, we should first mention this, right? Like, obviously, a tease for something in the future.
I mean, Wade, they've been teasing this for like 12 years. I mean, I just assume that we're just going to continue this forever. I mean, this at one point, this was the idea for WrestleMania. So I am sure there will be a plan for these two. Whether it will, in fact, occur remains to be seen.
I guess the difference is that now one of them is actually champion. They're on the same show. So, you know, you could
Are they on the same show?
I believe so, John.
This week they are.
I guess you're right.
What's Gunther? What was Gunther's deal? He's on SmackDown now? They didn't explain
that. I mean, he's on. I guess so. I don't know. I thought they would just straight up explain a trade. Oh, we traded Jacob for Gunther. Didn't tell you guys, but you know it happened, and just like stop asking questions. But
I don't think these guys were like just waiting to be on the same show for this moment here. But maybe these are the only loyal guys to these brands.
What I mean is, could this be SummerSlam? Could it take place before SummerSlam? Like, are we looking at that close of a timeline for this?
So
match?
we do have Backlash is this week. In 3 weeks, it's Clash in Italy. Then in June, it's Saudi Arabia, which Dave Meltzer is reporting Roman is not on that Saudi Arabia show. I don't know that independently, but if you throw out Saudi Arabia, then what is there anything before SummerSlam? Is there
what about Money in the Bank? Is that
Money in the Bank isn't until September this year. It's the week after All In, so that's a ways down the road. So, you know, it's possible. Reigns and Gunther had certainly been a program like I had heard as being like an idea, but not necessarily like locked into anything. But that's going back some time as well. And now with Gunther involved with Cody, I mean, it just feels like a lot has changed. Also, no CM Punk on this show either. He was listed on the site for at least being advertised for this show. So he doesn't feel like he has anything for Backlash. Although, is there any way that they're going to do a joke thing and he's going to be the partner for Danhausen?
Absolutely, there could be. I mean, they have a connection that is not necessarily established on TV, but I could see them at least having this on-screen little like buddy comedy spot at Backlash, and it gets Punk on the show on Saturday. Be a worthwhile surprise for people. Yeah.
So Rollins comes out and is jumped by Braun Breaker and just dumps Rollins onto the barricade, throws security away, and yes, this was a very intense beatdown by Braun Breaker. But I'm sorry if my notes are a little scattered because I was focused on one thing, and that was the new Braun Breaker T-shirt. That for those that remember the Invasion poster where we had the face of Vince and Shane, we have taken that and taken half the face of Braun to be joined by half the face of a dog. Yeah, and then on the back, it reads, wait for it, guys, on the back, unbreakable.
Yeah.
Even though the image is technically broken in the middle. Like they're not connected faces, they're broken.
Honestly, I didn't even pay attention to it. But you know, I always love discussing.
Just
design.
no way. I don't even have to look up the price. This will be your Christmas present. I'm going to get you this.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
I'll see if there's a kid size. Okay. I'll get it for you, Oscar, and Lucas that can walk around the house with half dog, half. Look at this thing. Would you buy this? Would any person buy this?
I'll be honest. I mean, of like pro wrestling T-shirt designs, I don't. I think this falls in like the top, like the better 50%.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it. I mean,
I'd love to see your bottom 50%. I mean, we're talking wrestling T-shirts, so it's a low bar to clear. But
I wouldn't be that embarrassed. I mean, you know, he is the offspring of the dog face gremlin. You know, just think about the merchandising opportunities for his dad.
you know, they should have had a Rick Scott version of this that they could have sold at SuperBrawl 2 in 1992.
That they could have, yeah. Mm-hmm.
To have
not started yet. No.
Yeah. Coming up this Thursday, folks, SuperBrawl 2 on Rewind-A-Wai.
You know, I really thought like they would take the opportunity with this break, no pun intended, to change the man's name, because I think Braun Breaker is just, I don't know if like you still have the same hang up as maybe I do or other people might.
How about Rollins in his promo last week calling him Baby Steiner? I mean,
well, just like make him a real person, you know, like Breaker is just not a real human being.
That's Breaker with 2 Ks.
Yeah, I think it's so silly, you know, at this point.
It's only worth it if they bring in Scott or Rick and they call them Scott Breaker and Rick Breaker when they come back.
We know we've established in pro wrestling that like people who are related don't necessarily have to have the same name.
That's the Breaker brothers. So Seth Rollins, the incredible babyface here, is speared, and the entire arena chants one more time. Just the best chant to get if you're a babyface selling on the mat. Thankfully, Braun did not do it a second time because this crowd would have exploded, and that ended our segment. But plenty more to come of these two on the show. And then, I kid you not, Michael Cole transitions to the next segment and talks about the Judgment Day and how there is trouble in paradise for the Judgment Day, and maybe our official retiring of that phrase on WWE programming. We go to a replay of Roxanne and Finn from last week, and then we go to the Judgment Day backstage, and Liv asks Roxanne Perez, what was Finn Balor doing in the clubhouse, and why didn't you tell me? Why do I have to watch Netflix to see what's going on? Dangerous precedent, because now we are establishing that, well, we should say, we can't expect every talent is actually watching this show at home.
They've kind of outed themselves if like people don't know what's going on, that they don't watch the show.
They could learn a lot.
Yeah, we so we've spoken a lot about maybe just like AEW's maybe over sort of like emphasis on needing to point out why there might be a camera in a backstage scenario, because we know Tony just like hates the invisible camera and always wants an excuse for why it's there. I mean, this is the reason why he might hate it, because I think they're just even confused themselves. Last week's segment involving Finn and like Roxanne was done under the impression that they were alone in the room. So why would Finn have picked a time when a camera would have been there and his face was being broadcast to Netflix in order to have that conversation?
So it immediately, like, it was the same scene as like a backstage segment before Liv and Raquel left. So are we to believe they knew they were on camera for that part, but then Roxanne thought like, what, they've ended the shoot and they're striking their set now while Finn walks in? Or was all of this thought to be a private conversation at the clubhouse?
These are all questions that I don't think they assume anybody is asking, other than, you know, podcasters who probably have way too much, you know, content.
Obviously they asked these questions because they addressed it this week.
Yeah, I think it's messy. I really do. But I mean, again, I don't think enough people are asking these questions to.
Maybe it's Michael Hayes. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or our favorite. Excuse me, Mr. Paul, but I just have to ask a question.
There are cameras everywhere backstage.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
The Unreal cameras pick this up.
Truthfully, they could film all this using Unreal cameras, and I think it'd feel that much more believable, you know?
Well, Perez makes it clear that she is loyal to the Judgment Day. So Liv has her literally say that out loud. What do you promise? And so Perez responds. Perez was very good here, as was Liv. And Liv takes off, and Raquel just pats Roxanne on the head. And it does seem like, I know we've talked about like Raquel eventually going for this belt, but it seems this is the maybe more immediate match that they're going to is eventually Roxanne as a babyface going for this belt. And I could see that happening sooner rather than later.
I could too. Yeah. More importantly, I think this is a story to just bring Roxanne up to the level of, closer to Raquel and Liv, who are arguably much more established on the show than she is. So I think there's a lot to gain just in having her featured like that.
Did you like Dominic's Dude Wipes shirt here? What side of the 50% does this one rank in?
What are we looking at here? It's a Dominic Mysterio mask with
sponsored by Dude Wipes.
Cool.
Santo had a Dude Wipes sponsorship, I think.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
The white mask and the white wipes.
I feel like in 10 years, like you'll probably find this in a thrift store for like $200.
You can only hope. Finn Balor and JD McDonough. So they are really piling it on Marty Jannetty. He is now being referred to in multiple different storylines, all about being a failure. Graves says how JD didn't want to become a Marty Jannetty, and Michael Cole just responds, "Yeah, good point." And so,
okay. Other than maybe like Marty Jannetty being Marty Jannetty, did something happen recently to cause this?
No. It's just it's kind of a universal term in wrestling. I think everyone knows what Marty Jannetty means now. It means,
well, it's meant a lot more, I feel like, in recent years than it even did like 20 years ago.
Well, they're using it here. They're using it with Becky. So
it's a much darker insult these days.
Well, Balor, they had a very good match here. Balor clotheslines him over the top and then is tripped by Dominic, so he's dealing with the interference. Roxanne comes down, followed by Liv and Raquel, and JD catches Balor with a standing Spanish fly and nearly killed his teacher. And they showed the replay of this, and he just came down. It was not a smooth landing, and Dominic prevents a coup de grace by shaking the rope, so he's ejected by Jessica Carr. And as Balor gets his knees up for the moonsault, hits the sling blade, and then Liv is on the apron, throws the bell hammer to Roxanne, who catches it, and she goes over, and she ends up using it on Finn Balor, leading to JD hitting the headbutt and pinning Finn in 11 minutes and 44 seconds, and Roxanne showing her loyalty to the Judgment Day, at least now.
Yeah, I found the match to be like quite okay. Like they are obviously very good together, but I never felt like the match felt important because it was all centered around just the shenanigans that were to take place outside of the ring. But like I said, I feel like it's all doing a good job of putting the focus on Roxanne, building some intrigue about who she's going to choose, and making her feel like more of a prominent person on this entire roster.
Jackie Redmond finds Seth Rollins. The guy's like dying. She's like, how do you feel? Are you still going to be able to do Backlash? And,
this was us atop the CN Tower.
It's like, hey, are you still going to make it home okay? He's like, I'm not dead yet. I've got 5 days to recover. And he walks away like Frankenstein here, just like the penguin walk here into the back. So, he's alive. That was the conclusion. We recap Jacob Fatu, who Michael Cole notes has been using the rare but fabled Tongan death grip. Oh, the fables that I've heard about the Tongan death grip. Corey Graves adds, it cannot be learned in wrestling school. It can only be handed down. It causes nerve issues because the pain goes straight to the Adam's apple. It was like, if they spent half the time trying to get submissions over as much as they have this Tongan death grip, they could get anything over as devastating. They are, I give them a lot of credit. Like, this is a very basic move that people associate with Haku, and they are trying so hard, and Roman too, in these segments to really make this feel like, I just hope when he uses this move on Saturday, I hope the crowd reacts to it like it's a big deal.
Oh, they already do. They
Yeah.
already react to it like it's, like an ultimate finisher. I think they've done a tremendous job, and it all feels incredibly old school, in ways that for whatever reason, maybe audiences later on wouldn't have bought it, but like like this feels like the exact same type of thing you would say about a move like this in the 80s or maybe even prior to, that. And I think I've heard no criticism of it. Like, this is, to me, fun. And it's also like fun to get into, to suspend your disbelief, to think that something like this could be like this sort of mystical death touch of pro wrestling.
Braun Breaker is with Logan Paul and Austin Theory in the locker room. And dude, Braun Breaker is like, he really thinks this is an awesome party trick I've got, where he plugs his nose to do Seth's voice. It's like, oh my God, this is a guy that clearly is not online, or he just does not care. Could be the latter. Heyman walks in and asks, is Rollins still breathing? And Logan then cuts his crazy like promo style. And I know he's trying to channel like wild 70s characters with this delivery. All I hear when this guy does this new like screaming voice, it's like, it's John Zandig. I think that's who he is trying to be. Like that. Who? That's my reference. The CZW, former.
You
CZW
think Logan Paul knows John Zandig?
I'm sure.
John
sure
Zandig?
Heyman has a bunch of VHSs he's showing this guy.
He just sounds to me like he's given one direction: be angry. And so like he gets into like 80s sort of like angry wrestler promo is how it comes across to me. And I think it's a little too much.
It's very over the top. Yeah. Cole refers to them as a frat house. This also sets up Theory is going to face Joe Hendry tonight, who Logan Paul wants to murder.
This looks like the lamest frat like ever. The guy doing like not like the impressions like this. Another guy screaming really loud, and just an Austin Theory.
Welcome to our frat house, where tonight we are going to fraternize. Yeah, this would be a boring party. Yes, he doesn't want Logan to go to prison, so he's putting Austin Theory in there instead. He sees Theory as less lethal. Penta and Javon Evans against Rusev and Ethan Page, where they mentioned Page being honored by the government of Canada, and they might make Hamilton the new capital. Haven't heard that.
Yeah, I mean, that part, I'm sure it's bullshit. It's an up and coming place. I think real estate is probably a bit more expensive there these days. But capital, I don't know about that. Was he actually honored?
I don't know the story off the top of my head, but I think this is legit.
Okay, all right.
It would be
honor
weird.
him.
Sure. I mean,
I guess what are their options? Who are the candidates?
Well,
what, for Hamilton?
Oh, no. They said the government of Canada here. This is wide open to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not
wait.
The government
all Canada? I thought it was just the government of Hamilton that was.
The government of Hamilton is like 5 people. No, they said government of Canada. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, why him?
He's, he's doing well for himself. He's a great,
like, better than other Canadians.
Obviously. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
It's what happens when you have a prime minister named Carney. Okay. They have an affinity for wrestlers. After the break, they had the advantage on Penta. And then Rusev yanks Evans off the apron, so they really build toward this tag. Evans keeps avoiding the twisted grin, and Penta avoids the twisted grin, makes the tag to Evans, and he runs wild, hits a suicide dive onto Rusev, but then gets climbs to the top, teases a dive, but is shoved off by Page. Penta's the legal man and is dumped onto the desk by Rusev, and then into the ring, hit with a fisherman suplex by Page. And Ethan Page pins Penta in 10 minutes and 43 seconds, pinning the Intercontinental Champion. So, yes, we continue to set up various matches for Penta as this 4-way program just seems to continue on week by week.
But yes, which I certainly don't mind, because I think they're establishing like this mid-card group in a pretty strong way, especially like introducing somebody like an Ethan Page in there who feels like he's already very well integrated into like the fabric of this particular division. And I think he already stands up because I think charismatically he's at a different level than really anybody else here. I think pairing him with Rusev, they're already showing some pretty strong chemistry as personalities who are total opposites, but kind of like highlight each other's strengths, with Page being more of like the sort of sly talker and Rusev just being like big angry brute. And I'm actually quite enjoying at least what I'm seeing so far. But of course, Javon Evans continues to really feel like the star. He's getting incredible reactions for pretty much any time he's in the ring.
So he was presented, Ethan Page, with a plaque from MP Ned Couric, who said, "This is a recognition from myself and the government of Canada and Parliament to Ethan Page," love that they use his work name, "in recognition of your outstanding global impact through sport and entertainment. You represent Canada tremendously. You are a Canadian hero in my eyes. So thank you for all the goodwill that you do for Canada and Stony Creek and Hamilton," which, by the way, are all part of Canada. I don't know if he had to designate, "because you are a local legend." So good for him.
Hey. Well, yeah, he deserves it. Yeah, I'm convinced.
It's come a long way from the Transact Club.
Yeah, sure. Which is also a part of Canada.
Also a part of Canada, yes.
Yep.
There was a Club WWE promo with John Cena mentioning that one of the perks is early ticket access and such perks as dedicated entrances, a members-only lounge, and parties that you can attend. Talk about just pulling my arm in this direction. I mean, boy, let's get there early for my dedicated entrance, and then, hey, want to go to the members-only lounge during the next match? Never know who might drop by. And then we got to get to the after party.
So, listen. It sounds ridiculous.
People are going to spend thousands of dollars on this. I understand.
That's what I mean.
That.
It sounds ridiculous coming from John Pollock. Like the idea of like this appealing to somebody like you or I at all, or anybody listening to this. But let's say like I don't like the Jays offered some sort of like fucking club Blue Jays, like, you know, thing where you had to like you could get like, I don't know, exclusive lounge
be
access.
Honest. Be honest, okay? You're a Blue Jays fan, way.
Yeah.
Would you want, like, they bring out everyone onto the field, they introduce all the players, and then you get your own introduction in front of everybody? Like, I would be mortified.
Sign me up. Are you kidding me?
No, you wouldn't. I don't think you would.
I wouldn't want that. That wouldn't be the offer. I don't think they would offer
That's
that.
what they're offering here. It's a specialized entrance. They did these at WrestleMania.
But that's not the baseball equivalent. The baseball equivalent would be like, I don't know, like you get to like throw a pitch or like run the bases, you know, like or like you get to throw a.
How much would you pay for that?
Well, how much is this Club WWE thing?
Probably a lot. That'd be my guess.
No, we don't know. I'm guessing like $5,
you know what
$10
I want to
a
sign
month
up for? I want to go sit next to Wade Barrett without a microphone. I just want to stand. I just want to sit there.
Okay.
I don't want to talk.
That's gonna cost a whole lot more than
that's
I think
probably
what John Cena is selling.
That's the extreme Club WWE package.
But
Yes.
like, listen, there are people who like just simply love this and want, you know, like that exclusive access. They want maybe early sign up things. They want whatever, all the stuff that's attached to this.
People will
And this is for
spend
them.
ungodly amounts of money for experiences. They should be leaning into this stuff because their audience is probably as the amount of disposable income that some of these fans have. Like they will, dude, we just sold a casket for 10 grand. Let's just have at it. No idea is too ridiculous for Club WWE.
No, I don't think so.
Sol Ruca is seen walking in the back, and we see once again Austin Theory mingling with Maxine. I feel that was
I don't think this will lead to anything. I think like in the back of their heads.
Doesn't. I hope it never culminates in anything. We just see these two every week.
They will forget about this in time, and we will all forget about it, and nobody will ask any questions. Like, I feel like there might be
like how Solo Sikoa and Tala Tonga will forget about their family tree this Friday.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't.
Poof, they're gone.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce brings out Sol Ruca, but she is interrupted by Becky Lynch, who says this was her allotted time and is upset at Pearce for making a match between her and Io Giannetti last week. And Ruka shuts her down, calling Becky a rude, big-headed bitch. And then signs the contract and warns Becky, I'll kick your ass and snatch your soul. And then Becky throws a punch, missing Sol and hitting Adam Pearce, who's livid, and leaves the ring. And then Becky is in position for the Soul Snatcher. And Sol goes for this very big, important Soul Snatcher. Slips on the rope. Still managed to get over, completed the move, but this could have been a disaster for her big Soul Snatcher here on Becky. But anyway, not the smoothest ending here. But how did you feel Sol Ruca came across as obviously here? I mean, future match with Becky at some point here.
So I mean, we've seen this girl do that soul snatcher from like a variety of very difficult like positions, and I'm sure she's botched it in the past.
She has.
Like it's honestly so rare considering again the high pressure situations where she's had to perform it. This incredibly difficult like move. I wouldn't have expected her to like slip on this one, but even in slipping, I thought she saved herself pretty well. So
it was a good save. Usually, it's been the issue has been like the timing with the person taking it. That's where I've seen it get screwed up. I've never seen a slip before. This seemed to be like this was, it was just she slipped on the rope. So at least she got over. Like had she just slipped and not been able to complete the move, and Becky's just frozen there, that would have been a disaster. This was not a disaster, but noticeable.
I didn't find the promo particularly impressive at all. I mean, there's really nothing all that memorable. She, had to rely on the bitch crutch, which, I mean, yes, of course did garner a reaction. And then just like...
Maybe she wanted to call her a big dumb bitch and then realized, oh, man, it's now property of Tekla.
Yeah. And then like just kind of like forcing that like catchphrase at the end in there, and it felt very unrealistic. So I didn't find anything that impressive about the promo or the interaction with Becky at all. But it's the idea of just simply having the spotlight on Sol Ruca by making a big deal about a contract signing for somebody like her, and by having her share the stage with somebody as well the biggest name in the division in Becky Lynch. That's enough to tell everybody this is a future main eventer.
Jackie meets the Usos backstage, who are here tonight for the contract signing, and they warn Jacob Fatu, and they go into Roman's room, and we never see these two ever again.
Yeah, where the fuck? What were they here for?
They didn't come out for the contract signing. They didn't do anything else backstage. They were literally
here. There's a Tonga death grip happening on the show. Like, what are you supposed to do?
These guys should have been taken out by the Tongan death grip on this show. I would have done that. Yeah. Like, I don't know why these guys were here tonight. They did nothing.
I have no idea.
So that was it. They were on the show for 60 seconds. Joe Hendry against Austin Theory. Hendry sings his song for Logan Paul during the break, and we come back, and Logan storms the ring, but he's stopped by Austin Theory. Logan explains how TKO can't fire me. That would be bad business. It's like,
does he have a no-cut clause?
I mean, he was probably checking after he learned what a no-cut contract means. And he is the heart and soul of WWE. Take that, Mustafa and Cedric. So Theory comes out for his match, and he's beating on Hendry. Hendry comes back and hits what is now dubbed the Commonwealth Clothesline. It's like, who came up with this name? The Commonwealth Clothesline. Can you imagine just calling that, like, just naturally? Oh, he hit him with the Commonwealth Clothesline. It's a clothesline, okay? We don't need alliteration for everything here. Oh, he's from Scotland.
I mean, the U.S. isn't even a part of the Commonwealth. So, like, why would this be relevant?
He is part of a Commonwealth, just not this Commonwealth.
I see. Okay.
So he catches Theory, fall away slam, does the kip up, and then Logan Paul just attacks him. DQ in 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So Hendry tries to fight back. Theory joins in. The Street Profits are out. Then, as they're setting up for a doomsday blockbuster, Braun's back. He kills everyone. Rollins returns. We're just going from one attack to the next. And then Ford does this spot where Rollins is setting up for the stomp, and Ford comes in, launches over Rollins, over the corner post to the floor. This was incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he jumped over Rollins and the post. And this leaves Rollins semi-distracted, and he gets speared by Braun. And they played this up later with Ford and Rollins. So I will say this, like, you had a lot of moving parts here. Whoever laid this out, I thought they did a really good job, because this could have been just like a car crash of all these different spots and all these different bodies. And I thought it came off like pretty flawless.
Yeah. I did feel like Braun might have been late to save or at least to attack the Street Profits, because it felt like, they had that blockbuster set up and they were waiting a long time for Braun to make his run in, to the point where like Ford basically had to like just kind of leave and bail on the move himself. Other than that, though, I thought like all the physicality was really great here, really well coordinated, and made the Profits especially look really great. So yeah, I agreed with you there. I also think like, Hendry and this song, this Logan Paul song, listen, he's not a title contender by any means, but when we're talking about like a mid-card level act, I think he's already over. Like this crowd was responding well to the match itself. It helps that he's in there with Logan Paul, of course, but like they were, reacting to the 2-on-1 beatdown and, and feeling bad for Joe Hendry, I feel. So I think like 2 weeks in, I think they've done a decent job with his introduction, in my opinion.
The master of the Commonwealth clothesline, Joe Hendry. They also promote that Rollins and Breaker will be on the ESPN 2 hour on Saturday.
Okay.
Jackie's with the Judgment Day asks, what's your focus now? Liv says, getting all the gold. And Raquel and Roxanne cut a promo on Brie and Paige, wanting them to come to Raw. And then Bayley and Lyra walk in. They want a match. They just laugh them off and call them losers and leave. And Bayley and Lyra kind of felt like that when they were just standing there alone. Week 1 of the Oba Femi Challenge is answered by Akira Tozawa, who gets into the ring and then is frightened of this man, so passes it off to Otis. And so Otis comes in, and they state how this could be a career-making match for Otis. Our one-time Money in the Bank winner, Otis.
That is right.
A different time. He gets thrown into the air, and then they're really trying to make Oba like more interactive with the crowd. He's doing all this like pantomiming and pointing to his head as he places Otis onto the turnbuckle to lift him for the fall from grace. Got a big reaction. Look at this photo of Otis falling to his death here, and Oba pins him in a minute 49. I'm sorry, this visual, he just like killed this guy. Oh, so there you go. I can't say this was the most spectacular rollout of this open challenge, but it told me, man, this is going to be going on for a while if we're starting with Otis.
I thought it was a good, perfectly fine first week. Like it was simple, and I think what you wanted out of this was just an effective show of power and strength. And I found it.
It was much better with Otis than had they done this with Tozawa.
Oh, certainly, yes. I mean, you would have felt bad for Tozawa if that were to be the case, but like just seeing like Otis thrown like this felt like a spectacle, and I think a good first week establisher before you maybe get into more of like the meat of this meaty showcase.
Are people going to be concerned and start calling the fall from grace the contract restructuring? Would you be nervous if you were in this victim role?
Yes.
Rollins is in the back telling the ref he's fine, and then runs into the Profits and Hendry. And Ford explains how no one trusts Seth. Seth says, I don't even trust myself. I don't even know what that means. But says, we're all in the same fight with the Vision, so you stay out of my way, I'll stay out of yours. And Hendry's just kind of like, can I be part of this storyline? I could write some music and just be around here. I would love to. This is a pretty important part of the show, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't have a problem with him.
I'd love to see a TV match with Rollins and Montez out of this.
I think you're more likely to get a team up.
I think they will team, but I could see them doing a match first. Should be fine. I don't know if people saw this, but during the Netflix commercial, they sent Ethan Page out to do a promo and just came out. I thought he did very well here. They gave him like 2 minutes to just go out and be Ethan Page. He says, I won tonight, so I expect a standing ovation. And they booed him. He then bragged that he is undefeated on Raw. He's pinned Penta. He's pinned Javon Evans in the past. And the IC title will be mine. It's a launching pad to go straight to the top, and that's what I'm going to do. So, I mean, just the fact that he's given this promo time, it does, like, unless I'm just missing them, it seems like they've kind of cut out the very awkward Netflix commercial interviews where the talent are just interviewed and they're always just feel so awkward, as opposed to like an Ethan Page or a Danhausen just coming out and killing some time.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see it. it even on like the Netflix, if you're watching it after the fact, they chop out all the commercial breaks. So I didn't get to see this, but it sounds like they are great sort of like ways to audition for the people that are probably in charge watching these, and they know who they can rely on to like talk to time and to command a crowd on, well, pretty much no script.
Yeah. It's like, you know, an Ethan Page, Miz, you know, Chad Gables gets these spots. They're a lot more natural in this kind of presentation where the guy just comes out and talks. But then we have the sit-down interview, the much anticipated Asuka, Io Sky, sit down. Io says how she's avoided this fight for years. You are my senpai. I loved Asuka. I looked up to you, and I still respect you, but you've changed, and now I must fight this version of you. Asuka says how the Io I taught is no longer sitting in front of me. You are my biggest disappointment. And says, I am done with Io Sky at Backlash. I will cut you out of my life for good. And Io just looks at her and says, Io is ready for Asuka. And Asuka leans in, and Io's like, I can't hear you. I'm going to lean in too. And Asuka sprays blue mist right into her face. Like, Io, how did you not see that one coming? I really like this. I thought the mist was a little goofy at the end of this. Oh, I just on a show
where you just praised the Tongan death grip. All right, how could you accept that but not this? This is a perfect way to end it.
Sure,
is it not?
Okay. What does the blue mist do? Is there
it stings?
This isn't the black mist, so she's not blinded or anything, is she?
Maybe temporarily, like maybe for like 72 hours, she'll have vision.
This looks kind of refreshing. This looks like, you know, it's like light blue. Doesn't.
I think it just like it stains you.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Which is worse. It ruins your clothes.
It's like if you don't get that that thing taken off when you buy clothes, where they take the dye. You know what I'm talking about?
I know, like if you like try to like I don't know rob an ATM or something, like it might spray ink or something. Like
it's the same deal on clothes where they have to remove that at the cashier. Okay,
that's exactly it. Yes.
Okay. I wish they just explained that. That would have sold this segment even more.
I thought the segment was great. I mean, it's a program that honestly though has kind of felt a little bit understated because they can't or they don't do these segments in front of a live crowd. So it's kind of missing that like live atmosphere, live energy. We're only really seeing it take place in admittedly really cool backstage pre-recorded segments like this. But for what they have done, I think they've told a really like cool story. You know, again, like especially not having Kyrie around, that's got to make things really difficult. But I think they've managed to like, you know, build something pretty strong for what feels like will be the blow off. Don't you think? This week?
It should be. Yeah. I mean, what if like next Monday I just came on live and I just like acted like nothing was different and you just weren't here anymore? Like I didn't mention you. We're just gonna move on. Like
you could make an offhand comment about like, you know, like
I mean they made a reference to her last week and I think they moved on from the references this week. They should have just gone all in and said like Asuka murdered her, like killed her.
You missed her. They could have just AI'd that
She took
scene.
the blue mist.
Yeah.
That's the restructuring mist.
Oh man.
Chad Gable and the Creeds against Ludwig Kaiser and Los Americanos. Michael
Call
Cole,
them by the real names, please, John. Okay.
What are the names that Brutus and Julius are going by now?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. So they are the Los Americanos Hermanos. Although if you ask Chad Gable, they are Los Hermanos Americanos. So they can't even get that right between their own graphics.
Well, Michael Cole makes it a lot simpler. He calls these 6 imposters pretending to be luchadors. And this guy has never sat down and watched AAA, ever. Since WWE has bought this company. Graves is trying to explain how Kaiser has embraced the Mexican culture and in exchange the people have embraced him. And
so not just Cole, I would argue the WWE Raw writing staff has never sat down to watch AAA because it feels like it's completely different.
Dude, I watch this show every week. I think AAA is my favorite WWE show. And then I see this feud on these 2 shows, and it is just, I know I say this every week, and it's annoying, but it's just, I can't fathom how this is the same storyline in the same company on these 2 shows. They could not be more different, and I imagine the average Raw viewer would just have, like, beyond the curiosity of a mask match, have zero interest in this match that they are promoting to you on Raw.
I think you heard it in the reaction here, like in front of a live crowd.
Yeah, this is like late in the show, and it's like they just sit on their hands for this because it's just night and day from their presentation in AAA.
I think the action eventually kind of like got some reaction, but like they were certainly not responding to this. First of all, knowing who to cheer and who to cheer against. They've done such a poor job of like establishing who the heels and baby faces are. They've given you very well, like if you even know who the baby face is, you have no idea what you should be cheering for.
How would these people know? Michael Cole is their guide here, who's just telling you these are 6 imposters pretending to be luchadors. Oh, yeah. Awesome! This sounds really captivating. So Gable tries the chaos theory and it stopped on Kaiser, and in turn, he hits a double German onto Ryo and Bravo. Then Gable gets onto the apron, and he hits a running cannonball, which I kid you not, Michael Cole calls a bowling ball.
No, he called it a Brutus ball, didn't he?
No, this was Gable doing this, and I rewound this, and he called it a bowling ball.
Okay.
the old bowling ball off the apron. Cactus Jack popularized the bowling ball. We get a superplex moonsault combo by the Creeds, and then Bravo hits a top rope splash onto Gable for a 2 count. Gable then runs Bravo into Kaiser on the apron and hits the diving headbutt to Bravo as Gable picks up the victory. And this crowd is just counting down the days to May 30th.
Strong action, which wish it took place in Mexico instead, because at this point I think it's a lost cause trying to push this feud to a Raw audience. I think they screwed it so bad.
They plug Cena at Backlash, and then the final segment is Roman and Jacob's contract signing. They are out. Adam Pearce also out. More printing of papers. Roman's logic is that he opened up the door for Solo to join WWE. Therefore, by Solo bringing in Jacob, Roman is responsible for bringing Jacob to WWE.
Okay. I mean, does that work? Does that work for you?
I thought Jacob's comeback should be, well, then, Roman, that means you just fired JC and Tonga Loa, didn't you?
Well, who brought Roman in?
Cameron Seaman.
The real tribal chief.
The tribal chief, Canyon. So he says, Roman explains the ethics of using the Tongan death grip, okay?
Yes,
only at 3 a.m. in a bar when it's 8-on-1. Which Haku never got that memo, but you never use the Tongan death grip on family, on the tribal chief. That's a last resort. It's like a firearm way.
Well, he's had to face, Glacier, that's like facing an 8-on-1.
Could you imagine if it had been CM Punk here being told, it's only a last-ditch effort when you have an unruly fan. That's when you pull out the Tongan death grip.
Sure.
Maybe Punk's going to ask to be handed down this move for future to use does the death grip work on a cell phone? Fatu says he is desperate with his back against the wall. He needs to take out Roman and all that he has. I'm going to put a chokehold on this game and squeeze every dollar and cent just the way this company has done our family for decades.
Fascinating.
I'm going to unionize this place. Know what I mean? And he says he will never go back to where he came from. So I like this pro-labor Jacob Fatu character. They could use someone like this as a babyface. He's going to do anything for his household. Roman explains, you've got 7 kids. I've got 170 kids in this family to worry about. I've got generations of wealth to figure out. This is my ring. We might be equal in the family, but you are beneath me in here. And that's enough. Fatu all of a sudden looked at his watch and it said 3 a.m. and he goes for the Tongan death grip and Roman's fighting it off. He goes for a Superman punch right back into the Tongan death grip and gets put through a table as Jacob signs the contract and the whole place is chanting Fatu. And I've got to say, on 3 weeks, I think they've done a hell of a job here with Jacob Fatu. I don't think too many people believe this man's winning, but I think they've done a really great job of this Tongan death grip. He's a great talker and has had that chance. And to his credit, dude, Roman's been excellent in just about all of these angles of selling the Tongan death grip, of being, he's conveyed like this is the dangerous wild card of the family that I don't know if I can put this guy down. Like there's that doubt he's conveyed in all of this. So I think both guys have done great, and hopefully they have a really awesome main event on Saturday. It's a super big match for Jacob Fatu, obviously.
For a 3-week build, I think they've done a tremendous job with this. I think it's been better than I could say several like WrestleMania feuds that were built up for that particular show. I think Reigns has been awesome throughout this entire build. I thought he was awesome tonight. He's essentially playing the role of mob boss, lashing out at maybe one of his soldiers who is not falling in line. And I found his dialogue and logic in his words quite compelling. He offered strong counters to all of Jacob's prior criticisms from prior promos. Jacob has been grinding for 12 years to get here. But Roman, like I think rightfully, tells him, I've been grinding for the 12 plus years that I've actually been here. Even though you want this position, like essentially, can you handle it? Can you handle being given the ball like I have been, and like my ability to run with it? Jacob is focused on feeding his own family, while Roman is concerned about feeding his entire family tree. But I found Jacob's line to be quite fascinating about like acknowledging how this company has been like squeezing his family for generations. And coming from what I'm perceiving to be the babyface in this feud, at least more so than Roman, that is, again, a really interesting sort of like self-critical line to script for the babyface to, especially like given, current sentiment about management, for him to say on screen. You know what I mean?
Well, it's definitely a line this week that will it will certainly land with the audience you want it to. That will work for this audience that you're trying to sway.
Yeah, but the best part to me has been just how explosive Fatu has been, especially with like the Tongan death grip is like the perfect move. Because it requires no setup time. You could be like, standing face to face with the person, and then the next you're putting on your ultimate submission move on him. And Jacob's intensity in applying it is tremendous. I think the announcers do a very good job. I think Roman does a tremendous job selling it like it's death. And they had some really fun sequences where he latched it on, broke free, put it on again. And I think I'm almost sad to see this feud potentially end after Sunday because I think there's just so much more life to it, than just the 3 weeks.
Yeah, I do think this will be a net positive that gets Jacob Fatu at least up to that, like, not tippy top level, but right below it as well. And there's definitely more juice to squeeze from this program. I feel like to just wrap it up on Saturday would seem premature. And
Agreed.
Like you've got Saturday night's main event, you've got another show in 3 weeks after Backlash as well. And quite frankly, you need baby faces, and Jacob Fatu is certainly in the long term going to be one of those guys for them. So I think overall this is going to be fine for Jacob Fatu. And like just contrast this to the amount of time they put into Roman and Solo Sikoa, and I don't think it ever hit this this kind of level where you had a threat for Roman as Jacob has been presented in these couple of weeks to lead up to this. So a very good closing segment between the two. And that concludes Raw going into the show on Saturday, where we have 5 matches as of right now, plus the John Cena appearance. And I guess we will see if we get any more matches added on SmackDown.
What are the matches so far?
I'm doing this off the top of my head, but we have Reigns and Jacob Fatu. We have Io Sky against Asuka. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker on the ESPN portion. Trick and Sami Zayn. And Danhausen with his mystery partner against The Miz and Kit Wilson. So I could see a 6th one in there.
With the ESPN hour at 6 o'clock? Yeah, potentially. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if this one's starting at 6 o'clock with these 5 matches and Cena, I mean, this could be an early night. All right. Well, we will be back. A heads up that this week we have got the continuation of our Hulk Hogan Real American series dropping on Tuesday. We will have episode 2 coming out where we will be talking about Hulkamania, episode 2, and continuing to dissect the psyche of Terry Jean Bollea. I look forward to this. Week 1 was a lot of fun, and episode 2 coming at you on Tuesday. Then later on this week, we've got Rewind-A-Dynamite after the 3-hour episode on Wednesday night. And Thursday, we turn back the clocks to February 1992. It is a rare February 29th event, a leap year of 1992, where we are going to Milwaukee to review SuperBrawl 2, which featured Lex Luger's swan song in WCW, taking on Sting for the WCW Championship. We also have the Breakers, Rick and Scott, taking on Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton. We've got Rick Rude against Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat accompanied by The Ninja and Jushin Thunder Liger taking on Brian Pillman among the, probably the most remembered match from that card is Pillman-Liger. Plus, it's the debut of Jesse Ventura on commentary with Jim Ross. And, I don't know, taking about a dozen veiled shots at WWF and Vince McMahon. So that's always fun.
As a follow-up to last 2 weeks ago, our last Rewind-A-Wai, I'm quite looking forward to this one. Yeah.
All right. So that's coming up on Thursday. And then, yes, Rewind-A-SmackDown on Friday. And we've got Saturday night Backlash coming at you live here on the Post Wrestling YouTube channel. Also, I'll make mention, it's the season finale this Friday, or this week, of Daredevil Born Again. Rich Fan and WH Park will have their season finale thoughts this Friday on the Post Wrestling Cafe. I'll be sad to see this season come to a close. I have been watching this every Tuesday night.
Wow. Well, why aren't you leaving feedback?
I should. Maybe I'll leave feedback for the finale.
Okay.
Perhaps.
And also a Wrestling Dontaku review out right now. In the
yes, that is up now, so everyone can get Bruce and Karen's thoughts on Dontaku. So we're going to say goodbye to everyone on the YouTube channel, but the party continues on the cafe as we are taking your questions and feedback.